Hey guys, how's it going? Today we're going to be working on several projects out in the garden, but we're starting here in the greenhouse to finish up with our dahlias. We dug just a handful of our dahlias out of the garden the other day. They've been in here drying after we rinsed all the soil off of them and they look really good. I've already divided most of them, but I saved one clump for us to divide together because how much dahlia dividing does one want to watch? We've done so much of it throughout the past several years that I thought I would just get a little bit of a head start. And you can see like right here, this is a Cafe au lait mini. We planted one tuber and we ended up with 7 viable tubers. Just incredible. And some we ended up with even more. And that's the thing about dahlias. They really are an incredible plant. I mean, they're beautiful when they're blooming and they are so productive. They produce so many tubers that you can share with friends or expand your own patch. But if you do not live in a climate that is conducive to overwintering them in the ground, which we are right on the edge, they are a pain, and that's why I didn't dig as many, but I still thought it was worth it to save a few of my favorite varieties. I am going to be storing them differently than I normally do too, so I usually don't divide any of my dahlias until spring. We just usually rinse them off, get them all packed up in burlap lined crates that have been filled with lightly moistened vermiculite, and honestly they're kind of hard to store when they're in huge clumps like this because they are irregularly shaped and they just take up an enormous amount of room in the crates. So this year I am going to go with the saran wrap method so we can divide everything now so we don't even have to do that chore in the spring. We're going to dust them with a little bit of sulfur, which acts as a fungicide, which is an optional step. You don't have to do that. And then we wrap them in saran wrap. And I guess that when people use this method, they have a lot less loss due to drying out. So I think that's my main thing too. Whenever I store them in vermiculite, you do have to go in and check on them at least once a month, make sure the moisture level's okay. I think I lost most of mine last year. I mean, I didn't lose most of mine, but the ones that I did lose, most of them were due to drying out. So I'm looking forward to trying this out. It will be an experiment for me, and it's so nice that it's on a much smaller scale than normal. Okay, let's just real quick talk through the parts of the dahlia and how I like to divide them before we get into it. You can see the stalk right here. It's massive. Look at that thing. So we topped the plant, dug it out, and brought it in here and used a hose to get all the excess soil off. You can see how beautiful these tubers look and how clean they are. So the parts of the dahlia are the body, which is this thicker part, the neck, kind of where it skinnies down. Sometimes you don't have a very prominent neck. Like on this one, for example, this is a weird looking one, but you've got like a little clump of tubers down here. And then if you follow it up, you can see this little skinny part. It's like a tiny bit skinnier. That's the neck on this one. And you'll get more comfortable with it too the more you do it. But so you've got the neck, and then right up here, you see that little spot right at the tip of my little stake? That is a growth point or an eye. So in order to grow another plant from a single tuber like this, you have to make sure to have all three of those parts. So you have to cut into the stalk right in here. So same goes for this one. There's the body, the neck, and then right up here, you've got your growth point or eyes. Sometimes you'll have more than one. And sometimes they're easy to see and sometimes they're not as easy to see. But usually what I use, I love these snips for this job. I think this is like 322s maybe, Velcro. And then I like to use this curved knife right here. So you can really get in there and kind of do some finer work there. So I'm gonna get in and divide this one. See how easy that was? They're not all this easy. So we've got the body, the neck, and growth points right up top. We'll need to let the cut ends dry out, and usually that means just letting them lay out overnight. But I want to check some of these that I first cut. They might be dry enough. Not quite. That's okay. Let's finish dividing this one up, and then I will walk through the steps of packing them up. Okay, I didn't have my camera on, you guys. Dang it. Sorry. I just divided these two off right here, but we'll continue on. So all these little like roots and stuff that you see on the ends, these can all be cut off, which sometimes just getting those out of the way just lightens up the view and makes it a little easier to see everything. Let's get those all clean. That's a little better. Okay, I'm gonna get in here, get this little one out. Oh, perfect. Again, we can clean up the little roots if you want to, not necessary. But we've got a body, a neck, and there's several growth points right up here. And my hand's a mess from this marker right here. A bunch of the ink just started pouring out there a little while ago and I was marking all the tubers. Okay, carry on. I'm gonna leave those two together because on this one right here, I can see definite growth points, but this one, I am not sure. So I'd rather just leave those two together. Okay, for this one, I'm going to cut right here. Bless you, Samantha. Leave those two together. That. Okay, so you can see this one has a growth point, it has a neck, but look at the body. The body was damaged, and you can keep it, and you could try sometimes if the tuber is big enough. Like this one, I'm probably not going to keep, but if the tuber is big enough and maybe the end got nicked a little bit, if you just let those heal over, oftentimes it will still grow. Clean this up. Now this one is a little bit odd shaped, but I think all of our growth points are right up there. There might be one right there though. Yeah, let's just divide it again. There, that'll store way easier. Okay, a couple more. Look at that one. And this one right here. I'm just going to leave those two attached. And all we're left with is our stock right here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Isn't that wild? From that one clump. So now I'm going to take my marker, and I use this kind too. This one was just kind of running out of ink earlier. Let's see if we've got some more mileage. Oh yeah. Cafe au lait mini. There. Now that one we cannot screw it up. We know what that one is. Okay, those are all labeled, so I'm just going to set them over here so they have a chance to dry. So now let me show you how I'm going to pack these up. We're going to do the sulfur first. So I've got our lilac thyme tubers right here. I'm going to put them all in a bag. Oh, Aaron's mowing. Got a little ambiance here. I'm going to add just a little bit of sulfur. We're going to close up the bag. Oh, missed one. We're just going to shake it. Get that sulfur over everything. How's it doing? Looking pretty good. That's stinky, isn't it? Smell that? Sulfur. Just in the air. Well, you don't have to smell the bag. Dude, your shirt is on backwards. Your pocket is in the back. That looks perfect. They've just got a nice light layer, and that will help them to not rot and not have any fungus sort of situations take over. So now we're going to wrap them in plastic wrap. Now I'm going to unwrap these when I'm done because I do want to let them sit overnight so those cut ends will heal over and dry up, because you don't want to introduce any extra moisture into storage. Okay, so we are going to get a piece of saran wrap out, and you can do this a couple of different ways. You can either do one at a time or you can do several. We'll do one at a time first. Put your tuber down, fold in the sides, fold it over, and roll it up nice and tight like that. So you can do it individually like this, or let's do several. Let's put our first one down, fold in the sides. I'm going to fold this over and roll. Hey, baby. Oh, that's beautiful. I love that. That's some nice sand art there. Okay, add this one in and roll. The thing is you want to make sure that the ends are shut and that the tubers are not actually touching each other. They can be like touching each other, they look like it, but there's saran wrap in between. Here's another. And then here's another. This will probably be my last one for this bunch. Making sure that all the ends are nicely tucked in, everything's wrapped up. There we go. So pretty easy. And you could also label the saran wrap if you wanted to do that. It's a little easier to write on than the tubers, but I find writing on the tubers eliminates the confusion later on. You know, if you accidentally dropped a bunch of them when you were out planting and you didn't know what was what, you know, you can just look on them and know that this is a lilac thyme. Okay, we're going to unwrap these now. Gotta let them sufficiently dry out. So I'm just going to line them up on these tables. I'm going to cover them with burlap sacks, and then tomorrow I can come out and actually get them all packed up. So I'm going to just wrap all of them in the saran, and they're all just going to go in the same crate all together. They like to be stored in this method about like 40 to 45 degrees, which is right around where our root cellar stays. So we should be good. I'm excited to see how this does, how they do in this sort of storing situation. Okay, now that we're done with that project, we can move out into the garden. What I want to mainly focus on are containers that have been cleaned out that need some additional things added to them. I have a few annuals left from fall plantings, like 5 pansies, and well, let me show you. There's the pansies. 4 of them look nice. This one's kind of a little sad. Then we've got a Dusty Miller. This is the variety New Look. I started this from seed 2 years ago, and we've been able to use them in a few different applications. I've been able to dig them out of containers and repot them and bring them in here. They winter over beautifully. We've got some lemon coral sedum, but I don't think I'm going to use these outside. These are not hardy enough. Let's see, they're hardy to their zone 7A. Yeah, these would look pretty crummy outside in our winter, so I want to use them in here. We've got some Nagoya red kale, Blonde Ambition grass, which would look really pretty massed together as a centerpiece. And we've got some Nagoya white kale. So I just want to make use of the things that I've got here and pop a few in containers that have some empty spots. And then we're going to also take the muscari that we saved for the urns and get those planted out as well. After we're done with that, we'll see what we have time left to do, but we've got annual clean out. There's a lot of things to do right now. So let's head out. All right, guys, it is the next day. I ended up running out of time yesterday afternoon, so we will head out and do our projects outside, but it worked out. I need to wrap these dahlias anyway, so let's get that done. That way you can see what these dried cuts look like. So they've had a chance to sit out all night. I just put the tarp, that's right there, just lightly over the top of these so that the cats couldn't mess with them. They sleep in here at night because it's heated in here. Then also so that I kept any excess air, yeah, these look good, from our heater off of them, because that can dry them out really quickly if there's a constant heat fan blowing on them, but they look really good. The cuts still look bright, but they don't feel moist like they did yesterday. And most importantly, they're nice and firm. They don't feel spongy at all or dry. They just feel the right consistency. Kind of like a good potato. That's how they should feel. Russell, you're such a sweet boy. Okay, so we're gonna dust with sulfur, get these wrapped up, and then we'll head out. Okay, there's all of our dahlias. They all fit in one crate and there's room to spare. I can't even believe it. I went ahead and lined it with burlap just because I don't know, habit. But they're all nicely sealed up in their little packets here. I ended up grabbing my press and seal saran from inside instead of this stuff. This stuff is total junk. I don't know why this stuff exists. It doesn't stick to anything. And it kept unraveling and the dahlias would come rolling out when I tried to pick them up to put them down in the tote. So that's no good. Kind of like defeats the purpose. So this worked way better and they look really good. So I'm just going to do this right here and then label the crate that we've got dahlias, and they'll go right in the root cellar. Way easier than packing them up in vermiculite. I mean, because you've got to get the vermiculite moist, but not too moist. And then it takes so many crates to store dahlias when they're not divided. So by taking time in the fall to do that instead of in the spring, I mean, if this storage method works out, I like it. So I'm just gonna get these in the cellar, then we're gonna grab our bulbs. We'll head out and get the urns planted first. Okay, so we've got our muscari. These are the Fantasy Creation. So pretty. And we're over here on the west side where the urns have been cleaned out. And I think there's still soil in here. I'm hoping so. Oh, yes. It's nice and fluffy. So what I'm gonna do is scrape off just a little bit of this. We're gonna reuse it, but I'll scrape off a little bit into a container, and then I'm gonna line up my bulbs, and then we'll put the soil back on top. And we need about a 3-inch layer on top of our bulbs. I'm also gonna toss a little bit of bulb tone in each one of the containers as well. Right there. Okay, so let's grab our soil. And by soil, I mean the excess soil here. We'll just set that aside. Then a little bit of bulb tone. Perfect. And our bulbs. You know, I think I'm going to spend a little time and just trim up the roses just a bit. It's a little late to do a full prune, which I have done it in the fall in the past, but I think I'm just going to take off the wild arms here just so we can see the urns a little bit better. All right. Yeah, so it says planting depth 3 inches and they get about 8 inches tall. So we're just going to put the root side down, which you can see the roots, makes it really easy, pointy side up. Just get these arranged real quick. Look at that. Isn't that going to be gorgeous? And just double check because sometimes I do plant mine upside down on accident. It looks like everything is good. And then just imagine the 8 inches of growth. It's going to be perfect because I don't usually like anything really tall in these because you have to have something that contrasts these arborvitaes, which that's kind of hard to do. So if we have something that just kind of mounds up with some nice color, it's going to be a really pretty show. Grab our soil. Okay, that's not quite enough. So I did bring some more in bags. We'll just top it up. Okay, we just need to do that 3 more times. Oh, found it. Okay, well, the urns don't look any different, but they're now all full of the muscari bulbs, so we have something really fun to look forward to for next spring. So now I'm going to grab my Falcos in my bag, and this is the kind of thing I'm going to cut off. Just the really long wild stems, just kind of round these off a little bit so we can see the urns again. The rest of the stuff we'll worry about later. There's still some things that look really good, like the drops of Jupiter oregano. Look at the blooms on this. Isn't that beautiful? And there's some really pretty seed heads on the Stand By Me clematis and the Midnight Masquerade penstemon. Yeah, and the low leaves. But look at how wild that rose is. We just need to clean it up a tiny bit. Well, that looks a lot better. Just tidying up those really long arms and making them look a little bit more kept, even though the rest of it is just fairly unkept at this point, but I kind of like it. I kind of like the fall garden looking like this. Now you can see the urns just kind of peeking out from the flower beds. And the roses down here, there's a total of 11 roses on this side that we just cut back. These 5 on this end are the variety called Mary Rose. And they still have, I mean, I don't expect these buds to turn into anything, but they still had quite a bit of color on them, which is kind of fun this late in the season. Look at this bud. Look at how beautiful that is. Oh, and then more of an open one right here. And they smell really good. And then for this last one right here, I've got a button bush here that I didn't think was supposed to get this big. It was supposed to, I think, get 3 to 4 feet tall and wide. And it's planted here, but it reaches all the way over there. Like it's huge. So I think in the spring, I'm going to take after that and really reduce the size, hopefully, of that so that it's not growing so much in front of the urn. Oh, look at this. Oh, I love seeing that. All right, guys, so we are done here on the west side. Super happy to get those muscari in. I'm excited to see what that looks like. I think it's gonna be good. We're gonna head to the back kitchen entrance and tackle a container right there that's been emptied out. And we walk by that area so much, it needs to have something pretty. And then we are gonna go to the front of the property and I want to show you our new gate that we just had installed. The area is not done yet. It's possible they can finish this fall, but it's likely it won't be finished till spring. So we may as well just take a look at it. We were gonna wait till it was all done, but I don't know. We got to it a little late. I was able to fit all, I'm gonna take those out before I lose them, but I was able to fit all of our rose clippings in this one pop-up. Amazing. Okay, I'm just gonna plant it up here and then we'll take a look at the whole area. This could probably use a little bit of attention as well. Okay. We're gonna go in with the new look Dusty Miller first. Already beautiful, just with that. And then we're gonna ring around that with the Nagoya Red Kale. I've got 4 of them, so we're gonna put 4 of them in here. Then we've also got 4 nice pansies. So we're just going to go in between these with the pansies. I'm gonna separate the yellows. And then we've got a red and a purple. Feels good just to use these up, give them their chance to shine. And all of these hold up really well to cooler temperatures, so they should do just fine here. Oh, that's pretty. And there it is, 4 pansies, 4 kale, and 1 Dusty Miller. Filled up the pot. It looks gorgeous, and it makes this area feel a little bit more alive again. Now this one is full of perennials. I kind of cleaned up the fern. There's some lamium, there's some perennial violas in there. So we'll just have to leave it, let it do its thing. At least it's still sort of green. And before too long, we're gonna be cutting back the hosta and kind of cleaning up this flower bed a little bit more. All right, now that that is done, we can head up and take a look at the gate. I'm so excited to show you guys. It's really pretty. We still have some decisions to make, like the size of the pillars that are gonna go next to it, whether or not we're gonna put some sort of a pretty feature, like a water feature up there, which is possible, and that sort of thing. So let's head up. All right, guys, I'm standing on the driveway right at the entrance to our property. You can see right behind me, well, kind of the entrance. It does sit in, and we'll explain that here in a minute. But here is the gate.
It's so tall.
It is tall. I mean, I knew it was gonna be big-ish, but you just don't know until it's...
I didn't think it was gonna be this big.
It's beautiful. And right now it looks perched because it is. We will have concrete and then brick pillars.
Yeah.
Brick-faced pillars on either side. And those will be roughly, 36-inch pillars?
Yeah, something like that.
Probably, which will have lights out the front of them.
Like
so we'll
36-inch wide. How tall do you think?
Oh, I don't know.
Like maybe same height as this?
Possibly, with a finial on top. And then we'll have lights out the front, which will really provide some much-needed lighting right up here. I see Samantha's running out here without her coat on. Samantha Grace, where's your coat?
Well, I don't want a coat.
I don't want it. I don't need it. I'm running. I'm warm. But I am so excited about this, you guys. And honestly, I think it's good that it's big because it needs to be scaled right. I mean, look at the size of the lawn, you know? It needs to be appropriately scaled.
This will be our little keypad.
Right here.
We don't have that yet.
And like the mail vault.
Yeah, I ordered a mail vault. So UPS and FedEx will just deliver stuff. And I'm happy to come out here and get it.
Oh, yeah.
Just to not have them driving around.
Yes.
And then if you turn over here,
you got a little side gate.
in case people were wondering.
Yeah, let me explain why we set the gate in. I've got to walk this way real quick to do that. So this is the actual entrance of our property. We decided to have the gate inset so that it would give people room to back up and pull out instead of utilizing our neighbor's driveway. We're hoping. We're hoping that that works. I don't know, I like it inset a little bit. It gives us room to do some really beautiful flower beds.
There was also no way to put the keypad on our property.
Sure.
If we put it right at the
entrance. That's true, yeah. If we had the gate right here, the keypad would have had to go about right here, which is our neighbor's property. So I think having it like this is just perfect. I love it. One thing we have talked about is a possible water feature right in here, like another waterfall of some kind. And there were already rumblings of another project anyway, so I don't know if that's going to actually happen.
Oh, yeah.
But there is plenty of room to do that at this point.
For right now, we just need to put rocks.
Yeah, everywhere.
To block people from driving through.
Right.
Or, in the end, I mean, we'll have the pillars and the wall, and if we put another shrub or something, that.
I also feel like we should widen the gravel right here. like maybe from our mailbox, like kind of do this just a little bit and widen up the gravel so that it just feels a little bit more open
Sure.
for cars.
Yeah.
Also, you can see the autumn blaze maple on this side. We happened to plant one extra autumn blaze, which is in front of the formal flower garden. And we are going to have Nathan Millad come and move that as soon as everything's fully dormant. So he will use his tree spade and he'll dig that one up and bring it to the other side of the gate. So we'll have matching autumn blaze maples. It's going to be great. I'm so excited. Do you want to open the gate up?
Oh, yeah. Let me
Yeah.
get the remote.
I'll stand right here so we can watch it.
Okay.
On that side, in fact, I can just point through the gate real quick. They did cut through the concrete so that when we're driving up to the gate from the other side, it'll sense our car and it will open automatically. I love it so much. And imagine the Christmas decorations, the wreaths. I've already figured out where I can, find the center here and put a big red ribbon that kind of hangs down and holds our wreath to the gate.
Yeah,
It's
nice.
gonna be great. I'm gonna do that this year, even though the gate probably won't. What do you think? What is the likelihood that it'll actually be finished this fall with the pillars?
Oh, probably
Low.
not likely.
Low, yeah. That's what I figured. Anyway, guys, that's it. I was just so excited to show you an update on this front area because we have showed you the posts already, and I've noticed some questions about, wondering why they were set so far inside the property, but I think it's going to work out really nicely, and it's such a nice anchor up here, and it's a beautiful, they're beautiful. They were custom made to a picture we sent. We poured through tons of pictures on the internet. I've never looked for gates before or had anything even remotely close to this, so that was really fun new project for us, and it brings kind of a sense of I don't know, finish or completion. It's not completed and it won't be for a while, but I think having that here will help me form flower beds in this area and really make it more of a statement instead of kind of like, I don't know, I mean, you saw it without the gate before. It was just so open, and I think this is going to really bring some definition into this area. It already has. And no matter what we end up doing here, we'll have the maple back here, but we'll also work on planting this part up so you actually don't see the house from the approach. You will only see it through the gate. Anyway, any other thoughts, Aaron?
Well, I guess we should, if anybody's wondering, this isn't really like a security gate.
No.
This is more of just like, please don't enter our property unless
you were invited.
You were invited,
Yeah.
kind of a gate.
Yeah.
Because, obviously, someone could walk either way around.
Yeah.
But yeah, the idea is not to make our property ironclad.
Right.
You cannot enter.
Well, it's not. I mean, our fencing doesn't really.
Yeah.
None of it really could keep anybody out, for sure. But I think having possibly some lower walls coming off the pillars will bring it even more. I don't know.
Yeah.
They won't connect to anything.
Sure.
But it'll make it look finished. So you guys, that's going to do it. I am freezing out here. I don't even know what temperature it is, but it feels so chilly. So we are going to head in the house. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you in the next one. Bye. Is he going to ride with us?
I don't know. You think he will?
I don't know. Maybe if he's on my lap. Oh, nope.
He's already done.
He's done.